Get ready, everybody. This is the 1-Up Superstar Series like you've never seen it before. Speeds of over 205 miles per hour on this 1.5 mile Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Something these things will fly by you before you know it. These 81 laps will go by very quickly, and it's just a matter of time before somebody ends up in victory lane at the end of the day. We've got a lot of racing ahead of you, a lot of racing action, and we're very excited to bring it to you here on this Sunday afternoon. Alongside me in the booth for this Las Vegas Motor Speedway event is James Ellison once again. And I pretty much just summed it up. This is going to be a wicked fast race with speeds climbing towards 210 miles per hour down the straightaways and never going really below 190 even in the middle of the corners. So this is going to be a lightning fast show. We'll see who can hold on to it as best they can.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun to watch, and it's just a matter of, well, for some, it's just a matter of what they're capable of doing with the cars they have and their setups. And regardless, you said it, it's going to be fast.
Absolutely. These cars are going to break a lot of track records here this weekend. I'm sure of it. We can bring you now the starting lineup for today's 81 lap race, and it's the two-time defending Superstar champion Christian Vargas on pole position for the first time this season. And last week's heartbreak story, Roberto Crown Jr. lines up alongside. He starts second today. Hopefully he can redeem himself after a near victory at Auto Club Speedway last week. Nick Ortiz, after a dreadful start to the season, lines up third, hoping to rebound. William Brock fourth, and David Wells, a surprise performance from the rookie, he rounds out the top five. But we've got a lot of interesting storylines to keep our eye on in this race. A lot of good names starting in the midfield, but it's not impossible to get from the back to the front here, especially with the speeds as high as they are.
Oh, absolutely. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch these big names go from where they are, either in the middle or the back or up to the front. We've seen it. We saw it at Auto Club. Several names that were toward the back just found themselves up in the top 10 toward the end of the race. We'll be looking at that for sure.
So, with that being said, we have 42 cars ready to take the green flag here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and we're ready to bring you 81 laps of hard-pounding racing action here in the 1-Up Superstar Series. This is race 3 of 30, and after the 2 races we've had so far, I can guarantee you that this race is going to bring you just as much action as the other 2. So, we're getting ready to bring you the action. Stay tuned, because the green flag from Las Vegas is coming at you very shortly. Getting ready. This is the slowest they'll be going all race long, as Christian Vargas and Roberto Crown Jr. lead us to the green flag at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It's in the air, and we are racing at Vegas. Vargas gets off to a good start from the lead as Roberto Crown Jr. falls back on the outside line. Ortiz and Wells trying to push him along on the inside. That lane's probably going to be the superior line throughout the race, as it looks like the 3 on the inside have already cleared Crown on the top.
That is no surprise, honestly, especially as fast as can be. It's very very easy to tell who's the best right now, even though it's only one lap in.
And look at that, we're already at an average speed of 183, and that was on just their get up to speed lap. Now they're full bore around this mile-and-a-half racetrack. Vargas and Ortiz leading David Wells, a surprise presence from this rookie driver from the Nitro National Series. He makes the jump up to Superstar this year, and he's running third in the Team Dayspring number 64, an incredible performance from that 64 bunch, but it's the 54 that continues to lead right now.
Yeah, I'd have to say though, Wells better not get comfortable with third, because it looks like Crown's looking to start regaining the ground he lost on the start.
Yeah, Wells, he's gonna have to fight really hard to keep those track position, because he's got a lot of hungry cars behind him want that last spot on the podium. But here comes Nick Ortiz after a dreadful start to the season, where his average finish this so far has been 39th. He's doing a very nice job of holding on to second right now, as Roberto Crown Jr. tries to track down David Wells, and after the heartbreak we saw at Auto Club last week, he really needs a good day here.
Yeah, I honestly got to say, that heartbreak last week, he thought about it for a bit and then decided to just get right back at it because he knows that if he dwells on it too long, it's not going to help him be able to rebound, and he really needs a rebound at some point.
No better place than here at Vegas to make it happen, as he currently runs 4th, one better than where he finished last week, so doing a nice job, and at the rate they're running right now, he might actually walk out of here with the points lead. So, a strong run from Roberto Crown Jr.'s. Nick Ortiz goes for the lead on the inside of Vargas with a push from David Wells in the 64. Ortiz to the point. He needs as many points as he can in this stage, but here comes David Wells on the inside. He's going to try for the lead.
This rookie, I'm telling you, he is being very bold with 3 experienced drivers pretty much surrounding him right now, quite literally at this point.
Yeah, but he has to back out of it just a little bit there, and that's going to be the end of David Wells' challenge at the front. But he's still holding on to second. That's the highest Team Dayspring has run so far this season. So a very strong performance by David Wells. But Vargas and Crown have got to be sitting there thinking that this rookie had better get out of their way because they're going to challenge for the win. But here comes Wells. He wants to challenge for the lead yet again in the 64. How about this?
Yeah, and while all this is going on, I noticed that the 93 there, William Brock, he's come up here as the champ goes after the rookie.
Yeah, William Brock, one of only 4 drivers with top 10s in both races so far this season. He's doing a very good job trying to keep that streak intact. But Vargas now underneath Wells for second. He's going to take it. So Wells falls back to third. Still a fantastic run by this rookie driver. But at some point, he's got to realize that the fight is not going to be with these elite drivers. He just wants to log laps, get a solid day. If he could finish in the top 10, that'd be fantastic, but not on the top of the agenda sheet for that 64 group.
Nope, and all aboard because he's about to get freight trained. Or maybe not, because he's got someone behind him now. I think that's Jeff Bolton.
In the 38 with new colors this week, but Bolton has not finished in the top 10 in a very long time. He'd love to snap that drought here this afternoon at Las Vegas. He's currently running in the 7th position, doing a nice job with a technical alliance with Finish Line Motorsports over there. Speaking of Finish Line Motorsports, that's who leads at the moment. Nick Ortiz in the 91, with Christian Vargas shoving him all the way down in the turn 1.
Yep, this is the kind of thing that Ortiz wants to see. He wants to be able to hold Vargas back and try to dominate this race, but still way too early for him to be fighting too hard.
And as they come through turn 4 for the 11th time in this race, Nick Ortiz holds off Christian Vargas. We're barely 5 minutes into this race, and we're already on lap number 12. That just goes to show you how fast these cars are going around here. An average speed of over 206 miles per hour. These cars are blasting their way through this race, and we might be... This is just an incredible performance of speed here by these guys. And amazingly, we haven't had a single accident yet.
Yeah, it's still early on, but so far, things are looking really good as Ortiz continues to show the way with a small train leading behind him.
And we have one of each manufacturer in the top 5 now. A Ford, 2 Toyotas, then a Dodge and a Chevrolet. Very, very well paired out for the 4 makes that we have. Rumors are that we might get a few more next season, but these are the 4 we have right now, and they are putting on a big show in front of the Las Vegas fans. But we're on lap number 14. Nick Ortiz continues to lead the way with Vargas second, Crown third, Brock and McMillan round out the top 5.
And here we go again. Vargas wants that lead back, as right now he's got the strong car, he can do it, and Brock going to the inside of Crown, bringing McMillan with him.
Yeah, don't forget, McMillan has a win already in the Daytona 500. He can afford to be a little more risky with his moves here in this 21 car. But Vargas has to get out of the gas through 1 and 2. That's going to cost him his momentum. Ortiz going to keep the lead. Here comes William Brock on a move for second, right where he finished a week ago at Auto Club.
Yeah, and don't look now. I can't help but notice that Monster Energy logo back there. Patrick Smith is coming into the picture.
Yeah, Patrick Smith has not lost his touch at all from the Nitro National Series. We focus on him now. He won the championship there last year. He's driving an incredible race here in the Superstar race, and he's about to crack the top 5, getting past Roberto Crown Jr. with a push from the 38 of Jeff Bolton. and Miles Mashburn's back there as well. Devin Fair in the new Acer colors this week. They're all putting on a good show up front, but it's Ortiz who continues to lead for now.
Yeah, this is looking really good and really racy early on, and I'm seeing that Jared Polansky has cracked the top 10, and I noticed that a few laps ago. He's looking for a decent day after what I recall being a not so notable showing last week.
And he's working on his teammate right now, Roberto Crown Jr., who's fallen way off due to just being stuck up on that top groove of the racetrack. But as you see McMillan trying to make a move on Vargas for second place, doesn't quite work out. Ortiz continues to lead, but you're right, Polansky needs a strong run in this race as we check in the back half of the field here. Felix Anderson's got a little damage on the left side of his Toyota. Not quite sure where that came from, but I'm sure the speed they're going now, it's going to impact him, but as long as he can stay behind that 89 of Vasquez making his first start of the season, I think he'll be okay, as Vargas goes for the lead on the bottom.
Yep. Oh, I just noticed something happened. Brock dropped off.
Yeah, something's happened to the 93. The engine's let go.
Oh, no.
On the 93 of William Brock. He is not going to get a top 10 for a third week in a row. William Brock going to be our first retiree from this race, in fact, on lap number 19. A devastating blow to William Brock and the Genesis Engineering team. He's going to coast it into the pit lane. They're looking at it. They're going to try and see what they can do to this 93 car, but that smoke tells me his day's done.
Yeah, I was just going to make compliments on how good some of his competitors are doing. I saw that puff of smoke and him drop rapidly. Man, what a bad day for this team.
And as he pulls it in to his pit stall, he's on the far end of pit road from qualifying so well. And yes, that is William Brock's race over after just 20 laps here at Las Vegas. But back at the front of the field, Nick Ortiz continues to lead the way. Jake McMillan's now forged his way into second. And how about Jeff Bolton? Not having scored a top 10 at all last year, he's making a push for the podium here alongside Vargas.
And Mashburn looking like he, for a second there, was one to try to make 3 wide, thinks better of it, and just follows Bolton on through, bringing Devin Fair along for the ride.
Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting battle to keep our eye on, because there you see our two championship contenders from a year ago, Mashburn and Vargas. They just can't get away from each other, even in 2023, it seems. But we still have a long way to go in this race. We have just under 60 laps to go. And Felix Anderson, you see in that 53, he's starting to lose touch with the cars ahead of him. That damage might be a little more significant than I thought. But he's hanging in there. He's keeping competitive speed, so that there's no need to park him at the moment. But it's Ortiz that continues to lead ahead of McMillan, Bolton, Mashburn, and Fair, your new top 5.
Yeah, like I said earlier, some things can jumble up. Even if they started in the top 10, they don't want to stay in their starting spots. They're going for the lead, and right now, they're going to have to really try to work hard to get past that 91.
And after the start of the season that Nick Ortiz had, he definitely needs something good to happen. He had an engine failure in the Daytona 500. He had a tire go down at Auto Club. He's currently 41st in the points. He needs a big day here today, or he'll risk falling out of being in a must-qualify-on-time position after 5 races this season. We're only on race 3, so he has a little time to gain some ground, but he's got to gain it in a big hurry, as McMillan just hounds the back of the 91 trying to get the lead away.
Yeah, and I noticed a few faces that popped into the top 10 now. Jeffrey Finn guy, he popped in a few laps ago, but I'm also seeing that 0-1 there. And like I said, comers, like we said about Auto Club, comers and goers, and there's plenty of them today.
Yeah, and David Wells doing a fantastic job hanging on to a spot in the top 10. He's still 9th, which is going to be a great day for Team Dayspring. It won't be their best ever finish. That came with Devin Fair last year at Bristol, but still a fantastic day for the rookie driver David Wells, who runs 9th in this race. Jeff Bolton, though, he hasn't scored a top 10 in ages. He didn't get one at all last year. He's running 3rd here in this race, and he's outperforming pretty much almost everybody in his technical alliance. So, fantastic run from this 38, but a lot can change in the next several laps of this race. We've got a pit cycle coming up in about 30 laps, so they can't be too comfortable with their position, because green flag pit stops at a place like Las Vegas can really shake up the order.
Oh, absolutely. And there's one person who right now would love to see the shakeup not affect him, and that 91 of Ortiz right there.
Yeah, after the start of the year he's had, he just wants a non-eventful day where he can bring it home in one piece, hopefully take home a win. He'd love to win the race, but he doesn't really need to at this point. He just needs a solid day, but his solid day might be put into jeopardy here because McMillan's going underneath him with a push from the 38.
Yeah, that lead might be in danger, but even if he comes out of this with a top 5 or top 10, that's definitely a far cry better than what he had the first 2 races. But a win would certainly help him in the points.
It certainly would. 51 points available for a win of this race. And Nick Ortiz, he only has like 5 points going into this race, so that would infinitely improve his position in the standings. But he loses the lead for now because here comes the Daytona 500 winner, Jake McMillan. He leads lap 30.
He's still got that momentum to ride from the 500. Even if whether he had hiccups or not, he's definitely not letting it stop him. He's going for it. He wants another win.
But Mashburn's going to try and deny him in the 72. He's going to try and go for the lead on the inside, but he's going to run out of racetrack. McMillan holds the lead, and we now have 50 laps to go from Las Vegas.
Yeah, fast laps equal short times to run them. It's amazing how fast they're going right now.
And we still have not had an incident on track aside from the blown engine of William Brock. So these cars are doing a fantastic job of keeping it pointed in the right direction. We're on lap 33 now, and McMillan is trying to stretch his advantage over Mashburn and Bolton, but they're still within striking distance, the 72 and the 38 respectively.
Yeah, and they're trying not to lose touch too quickly here, but notice Ortiz is falling just to the edge of the top 5, but he's still hanging in there, so he could still come back for that.
Time will tell, won't it? Because we still have a lot of racing to go. We're closing in on the halfway point pretty quickly here, as a matter of fact. But McMillan is doing his job, keeping the rest of his challengers at bay, and Vargas has now passed Ortiz to get back up to 4th. He wants past this 38 in a hurry, because if he can get past Mashburn and Bolton, I think this 54 still got something for McMillan if he can get there.
That's the big statement there. If he can get there, he seems to be doing all right now with Bolton, but Mashburn's pulled away a bit from both of them, so he's got a little bit of work to do. But he's up for the challenge.
He didn't win 2 championships in a row by chance. He is a fantastic one-up superstar driver, possibly the greatest we've ever had. So Vargas doing a fantastic job getting past Bolton. He's up into 3rd place, chasing down the lead Chevrolets of McMillan and Mashburn, who lead the way at lap 36.
Yep, lap 36 already. Wow. And then looking at this top 10, a lot of the people who've been in the top 10 majority of the race are still there. It's jumbled as we expected, but they're still in there. Patrick Smith's still hanging on in 10th. Crown's still hanging on to 9th, and Finn guy, we haven't seen him try to challenge for the lead yet, but he's still hanging in there.
Another one of our all-time greats, Jeffrey Finn guy. He's climbed his way up from a midfield starting spot. He's up to 7th now, past David Wells. So at this point in time, things are looking up for the 92 camp. And his teammate, Dylan Young, who started way at the back of the field, he's already gained over 10 positions in this race so far. He's up to 28th now. We'll see how far that 29 can get before this race is over. But we're closing in on halfway. McMillan and Ortiz have been the class of the field so far, but Mashburn's looking to change that.
Yeah, he really wants this lead, but he's got to watch out for Ortiz and Vargas, who have got their own battle going here, as battle's all over right now, at least at the very front of the field.
Yeah, these 4 are pulling away in a big way from Devin Fair, David Wells, Jeff Bolton, and man, I said earlier these 2 can't get away from each other, Mashburn and Vargas, after last year's championship battle. I wasn't kidding. They are nose to tail, now side by side for the runners-up spot, as McMillan loves what he's seeing behind him. This allows him to start pulling away.
Yeah, and I don't know if anybody could hear me, but I was oohing about. It looked like some contact they were having there for a second there, but it must have just been very close, but not quite. As Mashburn loses another one spot and is about to lose a second.
And remember, any contact at these speeds can result in calamity, as William Brock found out last year when they sidelined for the rest of the season after a crash at this racetrack. And it's a shame for Brock that his redemption race at Las Vegas ended so early, but he'll regroup and get ready for Atlanta next week. That 93 is still a good car, regardless of the outcome here at Vegas. But Vargas making a move for the lead on McMillan as we've just passed halfway.
Did this surprise anybody? Not really. This like I said, he's always his whole team is always bringing fast Toyotas to the racetrack, and they're almost always in contention unless they're just having an off week. And he wants that lead. He wants that win. He wants to pretty much continue where he left off, even if he didn't get to win the first two races of the year.
And he's got his teammate back there in the 5th position, that green and white Toyota of Devin Fair, first time using the Acer colors on the 51 this week. But Fair's going to need to work hard to get up to Vargas and help him past McMillan, because Ortiz is now right on the back of the 54, and he wants a shot at getting back to the lead, because Ortiz led a bunch early on. We'll see if he can get back there.
Yeah, I think it'd be great to see them come up here to have 1-2 finish. That'd be nice, but at the same time, McMillan's becoming as hard to pass as Ortiz was earlier.
Yeah, we're just past halfway in this race, and Christian Vargas just hanging on for dear life at blistering speeds around this place. And remember, pit stops are about 7 to 10 laps away, so we've got a lot of cars going at blazing fast speeds. Got to slow it down to pit road speed in a very short amount of time. We've seen calamity on pit road at Las Vegas before. Let's hope it doesn't happen here.
We can hope so. And as these pit stops approach, I see the 10th place has changed hands. Patrick Smith's no longer in the top 10. Mark Davey has made a return.
Yeah, so maybe Patrick Smith's not got a great long-run car, or maybe Mark Davey just has a good long-run car. But regardless, the top 5 are doing a fantastic job pulling away from the rest of the field as Vargas dives to the inside for the lead.
Here we go again. This take 2. Does he try this again? Will McMillan be able to hold him off? And it looks like it, especially with Ortiz helping him up there.
Yeah, but Vargas also has Mashburn and Fair back there. But Vargas had to give up so much momentum on the bottom. He had to check up a little bit. That lets Ortiz pass in the 91, move to 91, back up to second place. Oh, and they almost made contact going into turn 1. But Vargas now has his teammate right behind him. We'll see what the two Revolution cars can do.
That could have been bad right there for this bottom half of the top 5. But they gather together, they keep going, and Vargas is already trying to charge back up here.
Yeah, Vargas, he wants to win. He wants to extend his all-time wins record. He hasn't won yet in 2023. The 2 wins this season have gone to Jake McMillan and to Sam Donotto. He wants to win and prove that he's still the best of the best around these racetracks. But we still got about 30 laps, just over 30 laps to go, and Ortiz doing a really good job holding off Vargas and Mashburn for good measure. But we're closing in on pit stops, and the top 4 are doing a very nice job staying nose to tail.
I couldn't help but notice at one camera angles there, I thought I saw a red number 92 try to fight for a top 5 position back there. I might have been mistaken, but
no, you were not.
Might be honest.
You were not mistaken. Fin Guy actually just got past Devin Fair to move up into the top 5. As Ortiz tries to make a move on McMillan, he shuts the door on him. But you're right, Fin Guy now up into the top 5 past Devin Fair. We'll see what he can do to chase down this leading foursome.
Yeah, he doesn't have a whole lot of time to gain positions before the pit stops, and like we were talking about earlier, those could very well jumble the field, especially since it's looking like they're going to be under green.
Absolutely. These guys are just doing whatever they can to be in as good a position as they can before the pit stops begin, so they can just focus on executing on pit road. No speeding penalties, no other penalties, as we got our first taker on pit road. It's the L1 of Mark Davey.
And it looks like he's doing it by himself, which isn't as big a killer here as it would be like Daytona or Talladega, but yeah, that doesn't look like he's going to be bringing anybody else.
So we got another one. I think that's Jared Polanski coming down pit road now. And, Jason Parker into the grass, and he's around!
Oh.
No caution yet, but Jason Parker slides through the grass. He was trying to make it to pit road, didn't quite get there. Now he's trying to reverse his way back to his pit box. And Polanski almost hits him. And Anderson Reed comes to a stop, trying to not hit the 76. That is going to be a big penalty for the 76 team of Jason Parker. They're having a strong race in the top 30, but now it's all for nothing as the leaders come to pit road.
And basically pretty much everybody else from the looks of things. And how we did not get a caution from that, I don't know, but apparently the officials decided everything was good as everybody's coming in to make their pit stops.
Ben McDonald stayed out. Sam Donotto and Dylan Young all stayed on the racetrack. As it looks like, Crown hits Ortiz coming into his pit.
These are the kind of things you cannot afford to have happen, because we've talked about it. Mistakes on pit road could very well ruin your day, and it doesn't seem to have hurt Ortiz so much. He's back out in the lead, but for Roberto Crone Jr., they do have to repair some damage on that 81 machine. He's going to go tumbling out of the top 10, top 20, top 30 even. And Jeff Bolton's back there with him after a slow stop as well. Heartbreak for both the 38 and for the second week in a row, Roberto Crone Jr. That is not what you want to see in any circumstance, but we have the three stragglers on pit road, and it looks like Nick Ortiz is going to take the lead back. He's going to take the lead back after that close call. That's definitely something he's got to be breathing a huge sigh of relief on as these pit stops cycle out.
Well, how about Jared Polanski? He pitted early. Now he's up into the top 5 in this race as it looks like David Wells and Lane Sanders now just on the outside of the top 10, as it looks like staying out later for McDonald, for Donotto, and for Dylan Young. It's actually benefited them. They're all in the top 10 now. Heck, McDonald is in 3rd now.
We talked about it earlier, but some people who probably weren't even paying attention to what we were saying are probably thinking, what happened to the top 10? But if you're not paying attention, you need to be. This race just got a little bit more interesting.
Absolutely. We've got Cam Cole running in the top 15 now, and the 27 after a fantastic day for him at Auto Club. He's doing a great job once again for BTB Motorsports. But back at the front, it's now devolved into a two-man race at the front. Nick Ortiz and Jake McMillan. Unless McDonald, Mashburn, Polanski, unless they can close up in the next 25 laps, it'll be a battle between these two for the win.
And I think that's how Ortiz wants it to be, because if it ends up being just between these two, pending any unexpected incidents that could ruin both these guys' day, that would just mean if he gets past coming to the checkered flag, he'll only lose one spot, but he wants to stay where he's at.
Yeah, because he's had a miserable start. And Zachary Fitzwater had an issue as well. He's out of the race now in the 59. Another driver who has had a very poor start to the season. His run of bad luck continues, and the 59 will likely finish 41st in today's race after some sort of issue either on pit road or just afterwards. We'll figure out what happened to him in a moment, but that's just a tough break as Jason Parker finally returns to the racetrack. He's now 6 laps down in the 76 car. He's about to go 7 down because the leaders are coming up right behind him.
Yeah, I still don't know what was going on there with that 76, but at least he's able to continue for what it's worth. He won't finish last, that's for sure.
Yeah, with both Brock and Fitzwater out of the race now, he'll be guaranteed a top 40 at least. But that's a tough break for the 76. He was doing a pretty good job, but he was running top 30, which is something he doesn't always do. But Yeah, it's just unfortunate. As now, Jeffrey Finguy gets pipped for fastest lap by Aaron Hall in the '07, who now takes the fastest lap point. He'll be happy to get another bonus point. But here comes the two leaders up on Jason Parker. We'll see if the 76 plays a factor in who wins this race or not.
Oh, he could, but I don't know. He could just wisely move out of the way. Or he could just block and make him go to the high side. We're about to find out.
I don't know if he wants to give up time because his tires are about 6 laps younger than anybody else's because he was stuck on pit road for so long. So while Parker might be in 40th, he might be about to go 7 laps down. He's probably got the freshest tires of anybody on the racetrack right now. So why not try and fight this out, get some good TV time as well?
Yeah, not the best TV time to get, but any TV time, as long as they're not talking bad about you on TV, you're doing good.
And Eric Monaco, he started in the top 10, had a struggle on his pit stop. Same with Patrick Smith in the 04. He's running back in 38th position now in that 04. Tough break for Patrick because now he joins his teammate Bobo Jones outside the top 30. A rough afternoon for Monster Motorsports. They'll help to rebound at Atlanta next week with their brand new truck team for starting at Atlanta. So that'll be something to keep an eye on going forward as Monster Motorsports' newest venture. But here we got a battle for the lead. McMillan underneath Ortiz. Looks like the 21's easily going to clear the 91. Ortiz might have had a bobble in 3 and 4. Either way, 21 to the point.
Yeah, that was no contest right there. He went for it, took it, and now he's got to defend it just like Ortiz was.
Yeah, if he thought Daytona was going to be a challenge trying to hold off a lot of cars, he's now only got to hold off one, but this is a very determined Nick Ortiz. He wants the win of this race. He didn't win at all last year. It was his first winless season, and he's going to do whatever he can to try and snap his winless streak here today. But we've got less than 20 to go, and McMillan has proven to be a very hard driver to pass, so it's going to come down to what this 76 does, honestly.
Yeah, that 76 is... You gotta give him credit for being able to stay up there ahead of the leaders. Except it looked like for a second there he was about to lose that, but he is doing a great job keeping the leaders behind him, even if he's already multiple laps down.
And the thing is, even though McMillan now tries to put Parker his 7th lap down, even if he does try and stay ahead of these guys, he's not holding them up that much because they're still gaining time on McDonnell and Mashburn and that crowd. They're now over 2 seconds off the lead. So regardless of what the 76 does, they are not losing that much time to the cars behind them as Parker, from the top rope, manages to stay ahead of these guys.
I think he had a little bit of drafting help from Ortiz, who's now going for the lead again. This is the battle right here. Pending a caution, this is the battle.
Yeah, and if a caution comes out now, boy, would that shake things up in this race. But we're closing in on 10 to go. McMillan and Ortiz battle it out for the lead once more. Ortiz takes it back. We'll see if he can hold it for the remainder of this race, because Ortiz would love to get back to victory lane. Finish Line Motorsports is a bit of a rough go of it to start the season. McMillan already has a win at Daytona, and Ortiz doesn't have a win yet, so it would be very nice to see the 91 back in victory lane.
Yeah, I have a feeling that if Ortiz can go to victory lane here today, as we see more fighting here in the rest of the top 10, I honestly think that is going to be a big party for Finish Line.
And look at this gaggle of cars. We got 6 of them battling for third here. McDonnell and Mashburn side by side. Jared Polanski right back there. And how about that blue car, Dylan Young? He started back in 39th, and now he's battling for a spot in the top 5. That is an incredible run for Dylan Young. And as they run right now, he would maintain second in the points as a rookie driver.
I'm calling it now. I think we're looking at our rookie of the year right there with Dylan Young. He's off to quite the start this season. If he can hang on to a top 10, that'll be a great first 3 race streak going for him.
Absolutely. He'll be, as they run right now, he'd be one of only 2 drivers to have top 10s in all 3 races so far. He and Sam Donato in the 77, who also has done a good job coming from the midfield to the front. But we're coming to 10 laps to go this time. Parker still ahead of Ortiz, but McMillan just doing whatever he can to get the lead from the 91 and hopefully lap the 76 for good measure.
Yeah, lapping the 76, I think that part is easier said than done. But we have seen that getting Ortiz and McMillan getting by each other, it's it can be easy, it can be tough. It all depends. But that 76, I don't think he's going to get out of their way.
He's actually pulling away from them as they're battling side by side. That 76 might have been holding something back at the end of this race. Who knows? He's not going to finish any higher, but he's getting a lot of recognition, and that's always good for a small team like BTB Motorsports. But we now have 9 laps to go. McMillan pulls out to try and make a move on Ortiz. Will it stick this time as they go into turn 3?
And survey says yes. This is going to be fun to watch as long as the laps wind down. It's getting to that point where neither one of them wants a caution because they want to settle this out mano a mano.
Oh, absolutely. This is going to be a fantastic battle for the win, as it looks like Mashburn and McDonald have separated themselves from this pack of cars, which has grown to include Sam Denoto, David Wells, Lane Sanders in the 87. They're all battling it out for a spot in the top 10. Aaron Hall's joined the mix. Daniel Bouchard's here.
Where'd Hall come from?
We have no less than 10 cars battling for a spot in the top 5 right now. That is fantastic to see. But they're not going to be able to contend for the win unless these two take each other out late in the stages. But here comes Ortiz, coming to 6 laps to go. Will he have what it takes to return to victory lane, or will Jake McMillan burst his bubble once again?
Well, we're going to find out right now. I think he's definitely using that 76 to his advantage, but if he tries to make a move inside of that car, he's going to probably be facing a whole mirror full of McMillan.
Yeah, he's starting to pull away from the 21, I should say. But as long as he's side by side with the 76, he's just punching a big hole in the air. And now McMillan's right back on his bumper. 5 laps to go from Las Vegas.
Yeah, and I've got honestly, yeah, here we go again. Every time one of these two gets behind that 76, and this time it helps McMillan get back to the lead. This is an amazing battle.
Was that the move for the race win? We'll find out in the next 4 laps.
No, I don't. Survey says no, because here comes Ortiz after him again.
And he comes down to the inside trying to take the lead again. They almost make contact going into turn 1. This is going to be an intense battle with 4 laps to go. McMillan trying to get his second win in the first 3 races. Ortiz looking for his first win in a whole year. But despite their differing agendas, they both want the same goal, and that is to return to victory lane. And we're about to find out which of them it will be in 3 laps time.
And right now, Parker finally getting past to be put his 7th lap down. Now it's just these two fighting it out without having to worry about a lap car. So you got to give Jason Parker his due credit for at least hanging with them, no matter how many laps down he is.
And he's still hanging with them. He's still not too far off these guys. If they have a big wreck, he could gain one of those laps back at least. 2 laps to go from Las Vegas. And Ortiz is just hounding the back of the 21, looking for an opening, but time is running out for Nick Ortiz.
Yeah, I'm sure he can hear his internal clock counting down the seconds to the finish. And it's driving him insane that he's sitting there right behind that 21 as he would come to the white flag.
1 more lap to go from Las Vegas. This is the money lap right here. Ortiz dives it off in the turn 1, trying to get by McMillan, but McMillan shuts the door on him, coming out of turn 2 for the final time. Ortiz has 1 more chance to make a move on this 21, but it looks like he's too far back to make it.
Yeah, unless he can get a draft and make a slingshot move, I'd say this is McMillan's second win, and here we go.
Oh, he's pulling out!
Like Ortiz, not quite.
Not enough. Jake McMillan gets his second win of the season, and oh my goodness, he gets a big win at Las Vegas, his second win of the season right there. Fantastic effort from this 21 group. They are back in victory lane. Nick Ortiz, while he didn't get the win, it's his first top 35 finish of the season in second place. I'm sure he'll be plenty happy with that. Ben McDonald completes the podium in 3rd. Miles Mashburn 4th, and Dylan Young from 39th to 5th. That is an incredible drive from the rookie out of Finn Guy Saitomi Motorsports. He beats his boss as well in the process. Jared Polanski comes home 6th, Vargas 7th, Finn Guy 8th, ahead of Devin Fair and Sam Donato, just ahead of Wells and Sanders in the top 12. But boy, what a race we had between McMillan and Ortiz. Those two put on an incredible show, and we didn't even have an accident in this whole race aside from the 76 going through the grass. So who knows? This racetrack, for all its dangers, has proven to be we can have clean racing here every once in a while.
Yeah, and it definitely provided a great finish. Ortiz put everything he could into trying to get by the 21, but honestly, as much as he would have loved to win, I'm sure he'll take that second and be thankful, because that means he gets to jump up in the point standings because of how bad things were for him in the first 2 races. He is going to take this and be happy with it, I'm sure, despite the disappointment of not winning.
So long from Las Vegas. We'll see you again in Atlanta. Congrats to Jake McMillan. He's your winner today in Sin City at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.